Good evening, everybody. I would like to call this regular meeting of council to order on April the 21st, 2026 at 7 p.m. We'll stay seated for a moment of silent reflection. Thank you very much. As we gather this evening, I acknowledge on behalf of council and our community that we are meeting on the traditional territory of the Algonquin people. We thank the Algonquin people and express our respect and support for their rich history, and we are extremely grateful for their many and continued displays of friendship. We also thank all the generations of people who have taken care of this land for thousands of years. Move on to the mayor's address. So the weather has been very unpredictable since the beginning of spring, as it has fluctuated between snow and rain. However, warmer temperatures have finally arrived. The recent heavy rains have resulted in spring freshet flood watches and warnings, in particular for the Ottawa River. The Boncha River watershed levels have been within the average range for this time of year, and Renfrew Power Generation is monitoring daily. The first daily report is attached as information. Since our last meeting, I've attended 12 meetings for municipal and county business. After our Ottawa Valley Waste Recovery meeting on March 26th, we received an update from Lori Benjamin, the general manager. Our 3 technical documents have been submitted to our local Ministry of Environment officer. Technical and service supervisors will be reviewing these documents, and while this is in progress, WSP, who's the consultant firm, is working on our ECA applications. The applications will be ready for submittal after TSS has completed their reviews. On April 7th, I attended a meeting in Renfrew with MPP Nina Tangria, Minister of Small Business and Economic Development, MPP Billy Donnell, and County of Renfrew senior leadership and economic development staff. After the meeting, we toured 2 new businesses in Renfrew, DLC Fitness and Paw per Pet Treats that participated in the Enterprise Renfrew County for entrepreneurs. On Friday, April 17th, I'm attending a tour and an expansion discussion at Magellan Aerospace in Haley Station. I'd like to thank the Non-Recreation Committee for sponsoring another successful bowling event in Renfrew and the annual Easter egg hunt at Shaw Woods. The Recreation Committee endured cold and rainy weather at Shaw Woods. However, parents and children enjoyed the event regardless. On behalf of council and myself, I want to wish Council Byrne get well wishes and hopefully a return to home soon. And that is my mayor's address. Can I have a motion that council accepts the April 21st mayor's address as presented? Moved by Councilor Robinson, seconded by Councilor Buckwalt. Comments? All in favor? That's carried. Thank you. Are there any declarations of pecuniary interest in the general nature thereof? Seeing none, then we'll move to the adoption of the minutes, and I have a motion that the March 17th, 2026 regular council minutes be approved as presented. Moved by Councilor Robinson, seconded by Councilor Buckwalt. Any errors or omissions? Seeing none, all in favor? It's very thank you. So tonight I'm pleased to welcome from the Renfrew County Road Supervisors Association, Chris Mantha and Steve Boland wasn't able to attend tonight, but they're going to speak on behalf of the road supers present, or I guess it's a trade show that's being put on in Petawawa.
Correct. Thank you, Mayor Rose and members of council. It's a pleasure to be here this evening in the Township of North Algona Wilberforce. My name is Chris Mantha. I'm the Director of Public Works for the town of Petawawa. As well, I have the privilege of serving as the president of the Renfrew County Road Supers Association. And I'm also a member of the board of directors for the Association of Ontario Road Supervisors. So, yes, we are very pleased to announce that we have been selected to host 2026 Association of Ontario Road Supervisors Municipal Trade Show. And partners with the Renfrew County Road Supers Association in hosting this prestigious event are the County of Renfrew and the Town of Petawawa. So the association was started in 1980, as we see on the slide, and it represents all the municipalities that make up our beautiful County of Renfrew, including the Algona Wilberforce. We also have representation from the Canadian Nuclear Laboratories, Garrison Petawawa, and the City of Ottawa has recently joined our group and is working on starting their own local association. So I think the Renfrew County Roads Group is a strong group, rich history, and it's great to see that we're still very relevant and growing. So about the trade show, so the Association of Ontario Road Supervisors represents 34 local associations across Ontario with over 2,000 members, and the annual municipal trade show showcases the products, services, and materials and technologies available to the public works industry. It is considered to be the largest show of its kind in Canada, and typically draws more than 2,000 participants and exhibitors. So the 2-day show, I think you're, back a little.
Even I wasn't sure where you wanted me to.
Oh, that's okay.
Or you want to drive this?
Yeah, sure. Okay.
That's if you can multitask.
I can multitask, sure. Okay, next one down. Okay, perfect. Okay, so some of the slides are a little different from mine, but that's fine. The 2-day show provides an opportunity for public and private sector public works employees to share information and technical developments and materials, services, and equipment required to build and maintain our municipal roads and core infrastructure projects. It also allows suppliers and municipal equipment and services to display their products in one area and develop new business relationships. So it really is focused for public works professionals. The industry is dynamic. There's lots of new technologies, and being in public works, everybody who's involved in the industry wants to see all the new technologies available to serve our ratepayers and our residents. And that's really what the trade show is all about. So it's been held before in Renfrew County in 1992 at the Petawawa Civic Center and in 2014 at the Nick Smith Center in Town Park. No, that's a problem with you there. Perfect. Okay, so a little bit of a background of how we got to where we are. It's a long process and it required a great deal of effort and work, but we're really proud because the end result is going to be great. So in 2023, we submitted to the Association of Ontario Road Supers an expression of interest to host the 2026 trade show. And in August of 2024, after consultation meetings and back and forth with the association, the directors approved the Renfrew County Road Supers Association application and awarded the trade show to our group. So in January 2025, we established our trade show executive. And throughout 2025, we established our executive committee. We started our advertising and promotional program. We brought on Steve Boland, who I'm sure you all know. He's a reputable public works professional, now retired, does a lot of work with Shaw Woods, and was just a fantastic ambassador. So he unfortunately couldn't make it tonight, and I'm his substitute. So we also secured the Pembroke Shores Golf Course for the annual Ross Mackenzie Golf Tournament, which is held on June 2nd, the day before the trade show kicks off. In May of 2025, we finalized our municipal trade show brochure, which I provided to the members of council this evening for your review. And then in June of 2025, we sent Renfrew County Roads delegation to the Woodstock trade show. And there we learned from that group what they were doing with their show, new ideas, how to make our show super successful, and of course, start the booking process and securing booth sales for the Renfrew County show. And we've continued ongoing promotion and organization since. So key personnel, this list was finalized for the slideshow in October. There's a lot more members. So we have We have members from Renfrew, the county of Renfrew, town of Petawawa, city of Pembroke, town of Deep River, and many more. So we have representation on our group throughout the county, and we have a lot of great support from our suppliers and vendors as well. So site profile, how did it come to be that Petawawa was chosen to host this prestigious event? It's a great location. The site is close to Highway 17, so it's efficient for the suppliers and vendors who are coming to the show to move their equipment up the highway. We needed a lot of hotel rooms, and there's good hotel rooms between Petawawa, Pembroke, and Laurentian Valley. Lots of quality restaurants for everyone to enjoy, and we have that as well in the area. And then we needed the 18-hole golf course, so we had that checked off. The Ross Mackenzie tournament will host 144 golfers to kick off the show. And then as well, we needed Wi-Fi, hydro, an ice pad for indoor booths, outdoor space for up to 150 booths, demonstration areas, and lots of parking. So that's how we came to land in Petawawa. JP2G Consulting was kind enough to do the site layout for the indoor and outdoor booths. And just to let council know, I brought these sheets to show everyone. All the red is sold. So we've been sold out now for the better part of, I would say, close to a month, which is fantastic. We've actually added additional outdoor booths. I believe we added 12 more outdoor booths, and they've also been booked. So we're really set up for a fantastic event on June 3rd and 4th. So the exhibitor profile. Oh, that's okay. I'll keep going. The exhibitor profile. So who's coming? Exhibitors are going to showcase products and services from everything from roads, bridge maintenance, building maintenance, communications, engineering, emergency disaster management, equipment, fleets, GIS and GPS technologies, parks and grounds, wastewater, water treatment, pedestrian control and traffic, and on the list goes. So we're going to have a great amount of quality exhibitors. And then who's visiting? So approximately 2,000 people visit the trade show each year, and I'm quite confident we're going to eclipse that number. And you'll see everyone from public works directors like myself, public works managers, supervisors, operators, lead hands, engineers, managers, all the way down the line. And of course, we want the public to come. It's open to the public. There's no charge. And we certainly hope that the elected officials from throughout the county will come as well. No charge. It's free for you to come and attend the show. Okay, opportunities. So certainly our group wants people to come to the trade show. We want people to come early and hopefully stay late. The County of Renfrew has so much to offer. In my travels to the various councils, that's one of the big messages I've been promoting, is just how much the County of Renfrew has to offer, and how unique each of the municipalities are that make up our beautiful county. And we do have a ton to offer, and I think we sometimes don't get to toot our horns enough, but we're certainly ready with this show to demonstrate to the province just how wonderful the County of Renfrew is, and the people that make it up. So we're going to showcase and promote the amenities and attributes that contribute to the enhanced quality of life enjoyed by the people of the County of Renfrew. We want to encourage staff involvement in the planning and organization of the show and showcase pride in our communities. We're promoting educational opportunities for staff to network, view, and discuss opportunities for enhancing the work of public works agencies. And we want to promote municipal amenities, businesses, and tourism opportunities. And of course, participate in the Ross Mackenzie golf tournament. So next steps. We're working diligently to continue to promote our show by attending council meetings. We have lots of advertisements out. There's going to be very soon some radio messages that are going to be started. The Association of Ontario Road Supers will be taking care of those radio announcements, so you'll be hearing them over the airwaves soon. We're going to continue to work with municipal councils to encourage involvement of municipal staff and make sure that our show is one of the best in history. So as far as support, the good news tonight is I'm not here to ask for any funding. I know that's always a popular statement, so I'm happy to say that. All we're asking in our travels and meeting with councils is to promote staff being able to attend the show. It's local. Gas is expensive right now. Typically, these shows are held more predominantly in Southern Ontario, where the bulk of the population is. So for this show to come to Renfrew County, it's fantastic for the staff in the county. Easy for them to attend 1 day, both days, volunteer to help out with some of the site logistics. And that's really all we're asking for, is staff to be able to attend and take part in the show. And we certainly hope to see our elected officials attend as well. Now, the distribution of funds. So the show does raise a substantial amount of money. And some of it, of course, is held by the Association of Ontario Road Supers. But a large portion of the funds does come back to the Renfrew County Road Supers Association group. So in 2014, when the show was held in Arnprior, $55,833 was raised. And those funds were distributed back into our communities. So we set up bursaries for all Renfrew County high schools. There was $30,000 put aside for every high school each year to give a bursary to students. It started out as $200. We're now up that to $500. So every high school has a $500 bursary for students who are pursuing a technical, like a civil engineering technician or technologist diploma or degree in engineering, with the hopes that they will graduate and move into a public works profession. We also gave money to hospitals. There was $2,000 per hospital. There was money given to support county long-term care homes, Bonnershire Manor and Miramichi Lodge. We donated money to the School Food for Learning program. As well, we kept $8,000 for Renfrew County Road Supers Association membership training fund. And that money was used for the benefit of all municipal employees throughout the county of Renfrew. If there was training that they wanted to put on, the association would subsidize the cost of the training. Training is key. It's key to our staff to promote the profession and make sure that they're doing their job safely and efficiently. And then there's $333 left in the Renfrew County General Fund. So we didn't keep very much money at all. And I can certainly say to the members of council that I'm very confident that we will eclipse that total in 2026. And we will follow the same guidelines here as we did in 2014. Putting the money back into our community, that's the key. That's for me, that's what it's all about. It's a career highlight for my team at the Renfrew County Road Supers Association. We want to give back to our community, and that's exactly what we're going to do. And the last page on the screen is just some contact information. If you have any questions or if you want to research the trade show a little bit more, it's all on the AOR's website. There's also a few teams left still for the golf tournament. So if you want to attend, I think there's I believe 2 more teams available. So if you like golf and you want to attend the trade show golf tournament on June 2nd, reach out to Trevor Woodkey at the town of Petawawa. So yeah, just hoping that your staff can participate and praying for some good weather on the 2nd, 3rd, and 4th of June. If we can get that, everything else will work out great. So thank you again for letting me come here tonight. It's always great to come to Algona Wilberforce. I love the area. I live in Pembroke with my wife and 3 kids. I'm an avid motorcyclist, so I do traverse a lot of the roads around here. And I certainly like Lake Dory a lot as well too. So very familiar with the area. And I'm good friends with Adrian Tomasini. He's a fantastic guy. So I speak highly of him as well. So thank you very much. It was a pleasure to be here this evening.
Thank you for an excellent presentation, Mr. Naipa, and certainly appreciate you coming and giving us the information and background. Curious, is Adrian put in a team on the golf tournament?
Jack.
So, questions from council? Yes, Councilor Robinson.
The invitation to attend the show, does it require registration? in order to get in?
No, you can just come to the show and they'll print you off a little entrance badge on a lanyard, and you're free to enter the show and stay as long as you want and partake in all the demonstrations. There will be some new demonstrations. They started them last year, but they'll doing them again this year. There's a lot of new electric equipment, electric vehicles, electric lawnmowers, robotic lawnmowers. Technology is really moving quick, so I think you'll be surprised at what you'll see at the show this year. It's really interesting to see where the future is taking us. It seems some of it is that you wonder, are we really headed that direction? But it seems we are. So yeah, for sure. There's no charge, and you don't have to pre-register.
Yeah, we're the phone call.
I was glad, my question was about the booths, so I was glad a lot of them were sold out.
Yeah.
And as a former guidance counselor, and sometimes when we got that, and so I'm just thinking, sometimes we don't have kids that are going to civil engineering or engineering, but maybe you could say, or somebody going in heavy equipment. We always have people going into heavy equipment. And I know in all municipalities, there seems to be a drain of trying to get people, so that might just be another possible candidate that could.
Thank you, Councillor, for bringing that up. I forgot to mention that there will be buses of students from local high schools being brought to the show. Some are going to be volunteering for their community service hours, but really we just wanted to encourage the youth to come to the show. You're absolutely right. We do have a little bit of an issue with aging staff in public works, and we need more young people in the profession. It's not a lot of young people don't think of public works as a career path. And we're hoping to change that, certainly through the Renfrew County Road Supers Association and the advocacy that AORS does as our parent group. We're working very hard to change that. As well, the association has started a joint venture, and I can't remember, I'm not sure if it's Fanshawe College, but we are offering now a course at the college level that is specifically designed to train people to be municipal public works professionals. So times are changing, so yes.
And maybe that would be nice if you'd share that with the local guidance counselors about that course, because some kids, they don't know what they want to do, and it can be lucrative. It's, there's 25,000 jobs out there, but that's not one I would have thought to send people away to. And I know you're familiar with the special high skills major in each school, so that would be a good draw of those kids to go, because they always need that experiential learning experience, so that would be perfect.
Absolutely, I'm living proof of I started as an operator laborer, and worked my way up to being a director. So, there's wonderful career paths in public works.
Mm-hmm.
We'll definitely share that with the youth.
Okay, thank you.
Seeing no further questions, thank you very much again for your attendance, and hopefully the weather does pan out that weekend, and we have great attendance. Thank you.
Excellent, thank you. I'm gonna head home now and watch the Canadians.
Thank you.
Okay, let's see that.
I'm thinking of that too.
Our second delegation tonight is somebody that most of us are familiar with, Mr. Kevin Clark, and he's representing the Motor Sport Committee. Kevin, come ahead up and
Good evening, council and staff, and thank you very much for hearing us, and see if we can put a proposal in front of you to see if this will pass or not. This committee is all volunteers who want to have some things happen at our Snowdrift Park. The committee consists of myself, Kevin Clark, I'm chairing it, Josh Birch, Jason Miller, Brant Herbert, Willie Miller, Patty O'Brien, Paul Hamilton, Paul Prince. Sandra Swain is on our recreation committee, and she's going to do our social media stuff. My wife Christine, she's going to do the secretary and look after the monies that can get out the gate, and that'll all go back to council staff or township staff. So, and then James attended the meeting from there, and he was our township rep. We have other volunteers as needed at the gate or in parking, so on the day of our show, I don't think we'll have to worry about other volunteers either. As a committee, we were planning the second annual truck and tractor, long tractor pull show at the Snowdrifters Activity Park in our township. We would like to ask permission to do our second annual show on the track at the park. Also to ask for you, the council, to support the event. The show will run the same as last year. Will be held on June the 27th, Saturday at 1 p.m. The cost of the show has gone up from last year due to they have sanctioned the pull at our track for the pullers to gain points for the year. This year, which will in turn draw bigger and better and more pullers to the show, and will make a bigger and better show. The cost of the poll last year was $13,475. This year, the cost for the poll will be $17,175 plus insurance. Last year, I think our insurance was something $1,500. Whitewater truck and tractor pullers price sheet attached to help offset the cost. We were proposing to set the price at $25 per person admission to attend at the gate. We would like to run all classes for the total show using Mel's announcer. Long tractor, 3 classes, stock 900, 1,100 pounds on full stop. Pullers will all go to the same, the pulling will all pull the same way this year. Last year we pulled opposite ways. We want to speed the show up a little bit and keep the people interested a little bit more. So the same announcer will be announcing for both. So that way then everybody stays on track. Truck, he'll also identify the pullers and the operators. Budget. Beta the budget for the tractor and truck pull. Cost of the package is $17,175. Long tractors is $1,300. Track preparation, if needed, $1,000. I was on the track today. The track is in excellent looking shape. I don't think we'll have to do anything. If anything, we might have to get one load of gravel at the front of it. The advertising was $600. Toilets was $500. I put an extra $500 in miscellaneous if needed. The total show would cost $19,575. Miscellaneous if needed. The total budget would be $21,075 plus the insurance. So the grand total revenue would be $22,575. I have sponsorships of $4,500 already raised. If the township puts in to help the support like last year, the $10,000. When the show is all over, all the money comes back to the municipality anyway. So to raise the rest of the money, I'm intending to sell sponsorships in packages by advertising on our posters. Packages will start at $500 and go up. The fees for the show. If I take in the fees for the show, if I had 1,000 spectators at $25 per person, it'd be $25,000. So with the township support of the 45 sponsors, or $4,500 already sponsored, we'd have to raise $8,075. And then the next sheet on the proposal will be right from the tractor pullers themselves. What we would need from the township would be all of the money to go through the office, final counting sponsorship checks processed through the office, the $10,000 that we used last year, which came back, the grass cutting to make the property respectable, fire department, and a couple of firemen, hopefully volunteers. Garbage bags and disposal ticket, the building. The building stock with accessories like toilet paper, whatever. No equipment required from the township because we have decided that the loader was a little clumsy last year, so we want to go with using a box scraper and a couple small firm tractors. So, any volunteers that's interested in helping out, you're quite welcome to come and help us. In the case of bad weather, I had a conversation with the people that runs these shows. In 27 years, they've only ever had 2 cancellations. If we had a major weather problem, I can cancel the show as late as 7 a.m. on the morning of the phone. So, if it came to the point of, the show was already started, and all the people that already paid to come in the gate, we would probably have to pay half of the price of the people that came to poll, and probably half the price of the boat to poll. So, I think it's fairly good to set up the bill to do this because you never know what Mother Nature is going to throw at us, but hopefully everything would work out. Like last year, the rain real hard on Friday night, and Saturday we pulled and we had a real good show. So, what else was there? I already told that, yeah. And that was option number 1, and then the option number 2 is a kind of a separate deal. The truck pull is going to happen on Monday and Tuesday, and the other proposal we have is having a smash up derby on a Sunday on the same weekend. And we figured that we could work it with probably the same volunteers, but in the long run it'd be less volunteer time because everything's already set up from Saturday to do our Sunday show. So garbage cans is out, everything is out, and then at the end of the day, we gotta pick all the garbage and stuff up anyway, so that'll work. The Smash Up Derby is actually, I gotta stick to my letter, I'll get confused here. This can be a money maker for the township due to everything is already set up. The only thing extra we would have to do is set up the Smash Up Derby Corral, which is a very little cost. Consists of Jersey barriers and some old logs for a cushion. So if the car goes backwards and hit the log before it hits the cement barrier. If I had 40 to 50 cars, I'll go with the number 40. A $60 registration. The $60 or if I had 40 cars at $60 registration, it'd be $2,400. That $2,400 will cover all the payouts. So there's no money coming out of recreation or committee or nothing for that. It's just the covers the payouts for the cars. The gate money would be money in the bank. If you had 800 people at $20 per person, it'd be $1,600. Being the best, being on the same weekend, the same insurance should cover both days. At the end of the day, should clear $12,000. With council approval, I would like to do both shows, but we need approval ASAP in order to get back to the people who can put the cars together. Could be covered all of it. Yeah, so anyways, we'd like to see the township park being used. We're all volunteering to try and make it a better place. It's up to council to give us permission to go ahead with the shows.
Thank you for your presentation, Kevin, and then the council for questions. Councilor Buffalo.
I think the only thing that I see, Kevin, is when you get, I think there's gonna be an increase in cost of insurance being for the 2 days. Because 2 events, so I think that's about the only thing I see there where the number can change a little bit. Again, it's for a second event.
Yeah.
And a longer time period.
I spoke a little shortly briefly with Luke this afternoon, and we kind of thought of that too.
Okay.
We'd have to check into that. If the insurance is up, we still should have lots of money to be able to cover that little extra cost.
Councilor Richardson.
I do have a couple questions. I guess one is to administration. So will this be a separate committee or a subcommittee of recreation? Or how does that, how does the committee members work? Just to make sure that they're covered by the township.
Well, I don't see at this point that we do have a bylaw related to general committees. But this has not moved through council in that normal way, so I see this as a group. I mean, there's some relation to the township, but this is just a group of volunteers, as Captain has said.
But then they'd be covered under our.
Well, for insurance purposes?
Yeah.
Or I'll just be specific with our insurance provider, what the situation is.
Okay, and then, just another thing, I looked under that, the puller's contract or whatever. And it says announced or not included, so that'll have to be budgeted for.
Well, I did put a couple of miscellaneous extra money in there. So if there's something I missed, that'll cover under that.
Yeah, and like along like it, we had spoken before about St. John's Ambulance, because we gave them, I believe, a $500
Yeah.
donation and stuff like that. And what else do I have?
And the idea with the advertising on the poster, say Joe Blow wants to put his advertising on. As we get it on, it'll be right on the poster as advertising for them, so it'll be that much more appetizing for them to advertise with us. And give us our sponsorship.
And what about the Smash Up Derby people? Do you have an answer for that also? Or what because the guy that did the poll, he brought his own equipment, right?
He brings his own equipment.
But then what about the Smash Up Derby?
Smash Up Derby. I have a couple different people that will come in with a loader voluntarily. And at the end of the day, all the cars are gone, all the mess is cleaned up, there'll be no mess left.
I mean, what about the PA announcer for that event?
And probably have to pay an announcer. I'd hope maybe the same guy will be back on Sunday to do it. I didn't cross that bridge.
And I just have some concerns just about the Smash Up Derby, like, is there like a set rule? Do we have waivers? Like, I know there has been injuries in Smash Up Derby.
All cars will be mechanically checked.
But do you need an official mechanic to check them? Like a licensed mechanic? to check
We
them?
have 3 different licensed mechanics on this committee, so.
And is there like a checklist, like, and then
yeah,
something people sign, like paperwork, like a paper trail?
there will be very stringent rules. There's no modifications, no super modifications to the cars. The only thing they can do is take the windows out, and the doors has to be barred and protected so the driver can not get hurt. The gas tank is bolted down, it can't move, and it has to be inside the car. And the battery has to be in a separate compartment, and it's bolted down so it cannot get in contact.
And is that like standard for all Smash Up Derbies? I don't know, like, is there, like, if you were to go to Beachburg, is that?
That's all, pretty well all the same rules that they have in all the smash up areas. Yeah. Yeah. And like in all the smash up derbies that I've ever heard of, the only one that they ever had a problem with where they had a fire was where the gas tank flipped over and spilled on the battery and it shut it out. That's why it's very tight rules that the batteries and the gas tank has to be bolted down.
I guess like just some of my concerns are like some of the stuff's not hammered down and if we did operate at a loss, where's that money coming from?
Well, I guess, the request is the township put up the $10,000. I guess that would not be paid back, and this is. To prepare for this, I was looking at our reserve table. We have, to move money from reserves, so I would like a council resolution, because that's not a staff authority, so we have, for example, and I can show council and share in our reserve table. We have money under recreation reserves, it's not significant. So I don't know where else it would come from, so I suppose that would be the count.
But I don't think we have $10,000, do we?
We do, but if you remember, Jen, when she prepared the reserve table.
Oh, yeah, I came to it, right.
And she color coded them, so for example, the ones that she saw as deficient, she color coded in red, and for council's information, the rack is color coded in red. So it's not a flourishing account as it stands.
And, I just wanna add one thing there. Last year was the first year we ever had that show in Eagle. We ended up breaking even, or made $300 extra, to be honest with you. But this year, because it's our second show, we're hoping to have a bigger and better show. I'm hoping to pull more participants. The only hinge we have against us is if Mother Nature decides to react, but like I said, 27 years, he's had 2 cancellations, so the odds are pretty good on that.
So I just wanted to add in just a couple of concerns, Kevin. I know after last year's event, one of the things we did was we had a debrief after to just highlight some of the things that went well, some of the things that could be improved. One of the suggestions was that if you were planning to do it again, that you start early. What would be really great is if these proposals could come to council while we're in budget preparation, so that things like putting up money and or preparing reserves would be in place. Right now, again, we're on a tight runway, and those are some of the unknowns. And it would be much easier to work with if we had that information or a better idea up front, so that we're not in this time crunch like we seem to be in again. The other factor is that we could build into operations schedule stuff where you're expecting like grass cutting. Last year, we had a tractor breakdown. Actually, we had 2 of the tractor breakdowns. And because of the delay when they were working at cutting the grass at Snowdrifters, then we started getting a lot of complaints from residents because the grass wasn't getting cut in the ditches. It did eventually get cut, but there was delays. So I don't think Public Works is willing to take on that responsibility this year. So that may be something extra in your budget that you'd have to consider.
There again, we ended up cutting most of the grass last year ourselves anyway, so I don't think that would be a problem. Unfortunately, due to my health and your health and things all went south last fall, that was one of the reasons why I didn't get my stuff together earlier than what I wanted to.
Councilor Rakish.
Do you feel that you'll be able to get the additional sponsorship money, like the $4,500 that you think?
I'm pretty confident we can raise that for no problem.
Because I remember last year we were struggling, like some people who gave $50 and some people gave $250, and like I just when you said to put an ad on the poster was $500, I don't know, like we didn't have a lot of 500 people.
Yeah.
$500 sponsorship people.
I think if they get some advertisement out of it and get some show out of it, they will be pretty easy to get to come across.
Because for you to do that, like, I mean, realistically, the poster should be going out in May, right? Because they'll have to be published. So you're gonna have to know within the next couple of weeks about that other thing.
Like everybody said, yeah,
$4,500.
but I'm finished work the end of this week, so. I know time now.
Any other questions? Seeing none, then I have a resolution that council accepts the Renfrew County Road Supervisor's presentation and the Mr. Clark's delegate presentation as information. Moved by Councillor Robinson, seconded by Councillor Buckland. All in favor? That's carried, thank you.
Commissioner, just a question, that addressed. Are we envisioning any further action on this before we meet them?
I have another resolution.
Good.
Item 7.1 Motorsports Committee proposals, so I have a resolution that council determines financial support for a proposed 2026 truck and tractor poll based on meeting the following criteria. That we provided with a committee structure, terms of reference, itemized budget, and a minimum sponsorship threshold of 8,000, and that would not include operational support from staff.
But it would still include, let's say, admin support for the budgeting and not the budgeting, but the check preparation and filling and stuff like that. Right? That.
I'm looking for a mover and a seconder first before we move by Councillor Buckwell, seconded by Councillor Robinson. Okay, discussion. Councillor Buckwell, did you know that?
So I'm just looking at these, there's some operational support. The sponsorship threshold is just maybe a question for Kevin. Is that, I'm assuming that would be before we committed the funds?
Well, based on the commitment, yes, before we.
Because we have no amount in here as to what financial support level we're prepared to do. I think that should be in the resolution.
So,
Because if not, because in there it says we're going to determine the support level, or determine the support based on those conditions we haven't studied what the amount is. I think that should be.
so after truck and tractor poll, I could say for $10,000.
That helped. And again, so I guess my question then would be is is there a time frame on when we have to see the $8,000?
And you're meaning that's from our sponsorship people,
Yes.
poster people, right?
Or whatever sponsor.
Sponsorship donations, what are the non-township? Pretty sure revenue in the park.
So can I, just as a thought with this, because there will be some other moving parts, like I said, like a resolution passed to take from reserves. So would these thresholds be met by the main council meeting, for example?
Councillor Robinson.
I think that's a question that Kevin would have to answer. Because I think last year, when it was presented, he was able to report some amount of dollars that was there. And so based on your guideline, we would expect feedback to say exactly where are you in that range.
I haven't really knelt to push for it because I didn't have the approval yet to go ahead with the show.
Understood.
And I need a letter from Luke to say that I'm going to put this show on. So I need a sponsorship letter. So without that, I couldn't go ahead and go any further. So once I have that, then I can move forward. There again, I don't think I'll have a problem getting done.
What is our meeting date then in May? Is
Yes.
everybody want to change?
Yes.
So work for council.
So are you saying by May 19th, we should have the $8,000?
Yes.
When was that date from?
May 19th.
19.
May 19th? What's the date? 23rd?
The only thing is,
First.
that gives you about a month to put the posters up.
I think so. I just have to work a little bit.
It's
Overtime,
really probably about the same as it was last year. to tell you the truth.
Yeah,
yeah. And like there again, there might be $1,000 of that I don't have to raise either, because I have $1,500 in there,
Mhm.
so.
Yeah, just a total of sponsorship monies of $8,000. Right.
I think we can pull it off.
Were you redoing that, Laura? Okay.
I mean, the other thing that, if I may speak,
Yes.
I think the other consideration that we would take into account is that last year it was an unknown.
Mhm.
Like it was something that we did not do before, have not done before. And I think therefore, there may be more, you may have more willing contributors.
Yeah,
And I think that's one of the things that you would need to really push.
like, yeah, you're perfectly right, and the two sponsors that came up, they came to me, I didn't go looking for them.
Yeah, well, go back to them.
Well, they've already,
That's a positive.
yeah.
And I do,
I'm pretty confident I can go to the rest of them that sponsored last year. A lot of those people were at the show last year, they enjoyed it, so I think it'll come across so much easier.
and I do have to say, like, I don't think necessarily need that letter from the township, because those two major sponsors just came forward.
Just makes it easier, it doesn't look like I'm coming in and looking for money to put in my pocket.
Yeah,
Because it goes directly to
but
the
the
township.
one thing is then we're committing to it and saying it's there, and when if the May meeting turns up and we don't have $8,000.
What's that?
Like, if when we send out that letter, it's like we're committing to running the show. But we as councillors saying we're committed to running the show, provided we meet that number 4. You know, like,
Well, if we can't come up with money and show us the cancel, the checks goes back to the people.
I think it's the standard thing when you're going to ask for funds, that the person that is asking for it shows it's legitimate, that it's not something that's being just done arbitrarily.
yeah, I guess in my thought, like those two people came forward and already committed money without the letter, right? And the fact that we've done it before.
And like, we did the same thing for the Easter egg hunt, all of that stuff, you know. Because you have to have some place to make the check out for it, and it's always made out of Algona Wilberforce, so.
Mr. Buckle.
Just one other question on the wording of the resolution. Is this going to include the Smash Up Derby, or is this strictly for the Saturday event? Or do you have another resolution for that one?
I don't know.
If I could maybe hop in, because I think what Kevin's asking for primarily is that chunk of financial support, and I'll follow this meeting, tighten up the insurance requirements. And if, for example, if it's National Derby, there is a chance the insurance could be high for that, but we'll find out maybe.
Yeah.
Last year, so in Kevin's budget, the insurance, he's budgeted 1,500 for insurance. And we talked about it going up. Last year, it was closer to 1,000, so there already is a little bit above there, but I'll do some, you know.
I'm just wondering, just Kevin, would you need for the letter to include both events for sponsorship, or are you just looking mainly at sponsoring the truck and tractor portion?
I'm looking to sponsor a truck and tractor pull,
Okay.
because the other one is, the Smash Up Derby is, well, self-sufficient. The only thing I might have to do is, like the insurance thing, if there's a little bit of difference there. And, I might have to, pay a little bit for the, use of the cement jerseys.
And you think you'll have lots of volunteers?
Not a problem.
Okay. So
Got a question, is whole thing provided there,
Oh,
Non-operational.
Well, if I'm sorry.
Yeah, go ahead.
I included in my report, so we exchanged an email, so, I have a separate report. Operational means, I think, mostly drawing on public works resources, but understood that the fire department may either in volunteer capacity or.
That's I might agree to the membership later on this evening. And look for volunteers, but be prepared that if they're not there. We're gonna need some some funding to cover that. Especially if it's the demolition derby. Because I've run into those several times, most of the driver is a mechanic. And I would be very cautious about that myself. And get your insurance sorted out first, before we make too much of a commitment. Like you says.
So that'll be, you can follow up with that move, right? Okay, any other comments on this resolution? Seeing none, and I'll call the vote, all in favor? That is carried, thank you.
That typo in number 4 is just bugging you, section.
It has been voted.
I just didn't know how long it would take.
I thought it was gonna get fixed the last second.
We're up there on the.
And I'm a terrorist. We're good though.
Okay, I wanna thank council and hopefully we can make this a real good show and make a little bit of profit moving on, but, all right.
Yeah, thank you, Devin.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, John.
Thank you.
So item 7.2 is the County of Renfrew and Burnt Bridge. I have a resolution that council directs staff to inform Renfrew County that the township is not willing to assume new or added road maintenance as a result of the decision on how to proceed with Burnt Bridge. Moved by Councillor Buckwald, seconded by Councillor Walter. Questions, comments? Councillor Reggie.
Just when I was reading, one of the attachments, so on that map, is that squiggly red line is the road that the county's proposing to make, is that true? Is that what it is? They might be.
I wonder which question. I don't recall, so we were.
The study commenced,
It says,
study.
it's after that one.
Yeah.
Go ahead. Yeah.
Is that,
Coming in from Mount Road, yeah.
and so there's no road there currently? Or
It's an unmaintained road.
so are they hoping, like if we were to do that road, then it would be a maintained road? I know we're saying we're not gonna in favor, but is that what you're saying?
Well, it may, I think it's just basically, it may be a driveway with private property in fact as well. So yeah, we don't do any maintenance. There's, so where my cursor is, there's some properties in here.
Right.
So if they pull that bridge,
Right,
We have no access.
they're gonna owe them a road potentially, but we don't want, that's just part of the suggestion of council is if they pull the bridge, don't give us, we don't necessarily want a new road out of this.
right, cause I was just wondering what that road construction was gonna look like, was it a road anybody can drive on, like, is it a bad road?
If it's an unmaintained road, which we have within the township, then that would be.
I don't even know if that's whatever a township road, I think that's probably some, like I say, somebody's private laneway.
I think so, and I think that could be part of the county, for example, we would have to acquire land for the road.
And then it's their road.
Well, I don't think so, though, because county roads are county roads, so they would maybe acquire it and see. I wouldn't wanna be the township to be handed, a hot potato with legal issues, bylaw issues, road maintenance issues, public concerns. So that sort of thing.
And from some of the feedback from the residents, they weren't in favor of it either.
Of removing it or.
Of opening it as a fully serviced road. They prefer the bridge option, yeah, and leave everything else the way it is.
At the county level, where there was three options, were they all equally the same amount of money, do you know? are not
I
necessary.
did ask that question and their position was, yes, the cost of the bridge is about what, in their estimate, the same as bringing the road up to municipal standard and then turning it over.
Right,
Their feeling was, well, if we don't put a bridge in, then we don't have to worry about maintaining the bridge.
Replacing it down the road.
Yeah,
okay.
I figured that was a lot.
Yeah. It is even Burke Bridge Road, we don't maintain that when we.
no,
No,
Okay.
or, then their other option is replacing with a single lane modular bridge.
Like, I'm kind of in favor with having a bridge there, because you don't know what kind of development can happen later on, right? Once the
Sure.
bridge is gone, it's gone. Nobody's gonna put it back. It would be a hassle to put it back for a number of different reasons. And I realize that bridges are county concerns, not the township's concerns. So,
Just a question for Luke. The third document is the comments on, have we submitted one of those to county from administration?
For commenting.
Yeah.
Well, no, that's what the suggestion is here, so I thought it should come from the council, so the suggested resolution is. As long as we don't, this is our time to comment, they're asking for comments, so, speaking of staff, and I share Adrian's. Comments in his report that fine, but we don't want to alleviate their issue by transferring an issue onto the township. So whatever their decision is, at the end of the day, we don't want to give road responsibility as a default option from them, maybe the township wants a new road in the future, but we can decide that when the time comes, but. I like these options, like a twin corrugated steel pipe arch, that seems like a lower cost bridge. I shouldn't speak because I'm not an engineer. But in any case, I don't think we don't want a year-round maintained road there. So that goes back to the suggested resolution, whatever you do, we don't want to have increased infrastructure burden. That's my recommendation to council. Council has a different opinion on this. Maybe the opinion is the councillor, like Schoenfeld said, is that maybe bridges, so that need to rename. That's Councillor Rollins.
I was just looking at option number one that they have, which is that if they did get rid of the bridge, there's another entrance that they can use from Mountain Road.
Yes,
So it sort of goes back to nature. And the only other access that they would have is Mountain Road to and from. So either way, I would say we're not taking on the responsibility.
no, but they would, at least, I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, but in the county's report, they would upgrade that road if the bridge was removed.
Well, and if that's the case, then that's a problem for us because. We'll be picking up, this road for the most part would be, I don't think there's any township right of road right of way, it's a private driveway.
Right.
So we would be assuming possibly, if they're suggesting correctly, a year-round maintained road, that we're gonna have to
To then,
fix, wash forward, plow, do, there'll be turnarounds.
right, which we don't want.
Well, I don't suggest that we did.
Well, it looks like it's 3 times the length of the existing one that we own seasonally, so, yeah, I don't think that would be a good choice.
No, I was just saying.
Yeah,
So whatever we decide, then you're gonna fill out that report and send it into the county, right?
Yeah,
That can.
I mean, and yes, yeah.
Okay.
So we're thinking number 2.
Or I'm just not saying number one.
So I suggest, that's what the suggestion was, is not willing to assume you or added road maintenance as a result, so I don't think at this point in time we want to. Assume.
But that's right, enough people say that they can decide on not to do it through this. Yes.
and especially if as the mayor said, we've spoken with some of the ratepayers in there, they have no interest in it either. It might be different if they were looking at maybe, subdividing or creating lots in there, then there may be a case for it, but if they have no interest in it, then there's no financial benefit to them, plus what municipality at all.
Yeah.
Well, and a couple residents have called me and they don't really, because it's already being used as a dumping ground, they said. So they were afraid that once you open it up more,
that's what it would become more, so.
like apparently somebody even dumped a dead cow there.
Huh?
Yeah. So I'm like, so they're totally really,
But maybe to simplify this, maybe it's the council's opinion that a bridge should remain there.
Yes.
Okay, well, then I can certainly. Maybe we'll just put, and maybe just at the end of this, Laura, on the fly to proceed and that a bridge remains.
The bridge or the culvert, whatever they,
Yeah, whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, but the first option is not
No,
that's right.
not desirable, no. Thank you. And that a bridge remains.
All in favor? That is very considerate. Item 7.3 is the Climate Matters Action Group. We have a motion that council accepts this Climate Matters Action Group report as information in the council waives the $150 full day rental fee for the Golden Lake Community Hall on June 6, 2026. So then have a meeting. Moved by Councillor Buckwell, seconded by Councillor Randy Shanfield. Comments? Councillor Randy Shanfield.
even though I think it is a worthy activity and it sounds from the pamphlet very interesting. I'm not in favor of renting the hall for free for $150. And it comes back to the fact is, it seems like a number of groups come to us and they want to rent our facilities for free. But we're not getting anybody wanting to rent our facilities to pay. So it means to me that people know those facilities are available, right? And obviously, maybe they've approached other municipalities and maybe they look at us because we do tend to reduce the rate or give it to them free. I don't know who the organizer is. When I talked about, what did I talk about, Ketchasippy or something? And I'm like,
The fifth annual.
like, why is it here and why isn't it, like it says Ketchasippy and Ottawa Valley, it seems, okay, it seems kind of a weird place to have it. I'm not saying it's not valuable. But once again, it's like, are they coming to us because they know we seem to give the groups? I don't know. Anyway, for those reasons, I'm not in favor of it.
Any other comments? I mean, they're already calling it a free event. I mean, yeah, I question where. Are we the first? Are we the only? Have they looked anywhere else?
Like the draw in Golden Lake wouldn't be like the draw in, let's say, Eganville or Petawawa or Pembroke, where I'm thinking there's so many more peoples around. And I don't know, it just,
Councilor Buck.
Just a question for staff, have they completed the
yes,
community grant application? Okay.
Any other comments? Seeing none, then I'll call the vote. All in favor? Those opposed? That's defeated. Then 7.4 is enhancing access to spaces for everyone grant. And I have a motion that council approves an applicant ease grant to assist with funding accessibility upgrades to the Township Administration Office. Moved by Councillor Buckwell, seconded by Councillor Robinson. Comments, questions? Councillor Edmundson.
what do you have envisioned, or what would, like, you're gonna tell that architectural group some ideas, like, what are some of your ideas, or what would you see to make it more accessible for people with mobility issues?
Well, just to make it like we have. Our front entrance, we have 1, 2, 3, or there's 3 to work for, and then we have one in Joe's house, we have, you know, we have 5 doors that, I think that's a lot, three thresholds to get into this area here, so. I mean, at the very least, open those, or make those thresholds accessible. By width, maybe remove some doors, and to change our front counter. So that it is lower for staff, accessible for people. And that may also change the orientation of this. So it kind of has, we've talked about it as staff, but maybe the front counter, because we kind of have a hub of activity there. So maybe the reception area will change a little bit, but at the very least, what we're talking about is a barrier-free entranceway and a welcoming, accessible front counter for the public to come to this office.
And there's no way, I guess, with that money, we could ever put some kind of accessible washroom facilities close by there.
This, I think it's an important project, so this resolution is just for the ease grant, because it's an opportunity now. I've laid out some other things in my report. We've budgeted some money at 2026 for office upgrades. I strongly recommend, because there's accessibility and compliance, that we go with an architectural firm to support for this. There also would be project managers. And actually, their proposal came in at a very reasonable fee for what they're offering. Otherwise, if we don't do this, we don't want a mistake at the end of this, a project like this. And then, so I think this may be 2026's start to this project with architectural designs, applying for the ease grant. But then maybe once we have a lot more information, it'll trickle into 2027 to maybe complete it. And maybe, like you said, we can't really afford to lose an office. We don't have, you know, we're just at the bare bones for office space, but I hear what you're saying. That would make a good space for accessible washroom.
And all I'm thinking is, like, sometimes, you know, like you plan and then you wish you would have planned further, right? So like if we have the basic plan, but if we ever had monies for additional stuff, at least the footprint could be changed to make it happen. Do you know what I'm trying to say? Like if we say we'd like washrooms, well, they could drop in the plan, doesn't mean we're putting them in 2026. But if we were to get monies in 2027, it wouldn't be a big reno to stick them in somewhere.
Well, what I would like to do is keep this project moving forward, get some preliminary designs from an architect, talk about them with staff, and then come back and show them to council.
Okay, that's what you're for.
Yeah, I think that would be to me, that would make the most sense, because until we know exactly what we can and can't do with the various walls in the building, I think that's our first step, is to find out, and again, have an architect, engineer sort that out. Because I think there are some changes that we could probably make back here. Because we don't rent this hall very often with kitchen. So the kitchen perhaps could be relocated and even accessible washrooms go into that space. And then switch an office out to put the washing in down the hall. I think there's options we can do, but again, it's gonna require some different thinking to how the whole building is laid out.
And what we also, just on that, the septic system, I understand, is over in that vicinity. We don't want to start, hopefully through this project, we'll add to a lot of start knocking around for improvement in the septic system by adding load to it. So and I don't even know how you'd be pumping from here, but anyway, like we talked about, yes, we want to do it right, and if it takes a few steps to get there.
Yeah, so like my idea is you have a big vision, you might not accomplish the big vision right away, but at least you can. And so if I'm a mobility person that has issues, I need to be able to get into the facility and I have to be able to use a option. You know, the rest of the stuff was, okay, great.
Okay, any other comments? All in favor? That's carried, thank you. Item 7.5 is the Township Union Public Library reports. I have a motion that council accepts the April Library Board report and the April CEO report as information. Moved by Council Buckwell, seconded by Council Richardson. Questions or comments? Seeing none, all in favor? That is carried, thank you. Item 7.6 is in regards to Councillor Byrd. I have a motion that council accepts the request of Councillor Melvin Byrd for a period of 3 months in accordance with the Municipal Act, Section 259C. Moved by Councillor Buckwald, seconded by Councillor Robinson.
Mr. Mayor, if I can just,
Did I miss something?
no, I'm just wondering if regrets is going to be adequate for the act. Do we not have to approve the absence?
Well, except, yeah, I mean, it's just wording, like I wanted to say that he, regards his absence, regrets of absence.
It's just, I was looking this up, and I think council has to approve the absence.
Well, yeah, or approves instead of the word.
I think that might be better.
Okay, Laura, would you want?
Approves with regrets.
The absence of.
No, not quite.
After regrets, the absence of.
In there, yeah, the absence of. No.
Okay, close to say.
One more time, Laura. There's an O there that you,
I'm still what's the Golden Lake sponsorship?
one more massage.
I think we did.
You have an O on the,
It was before, after the golden. It was after the East draft, I think. Yes.
They don't have it on the committee.
Yeah, that was the.
That was the
report, yeah.
the
No, like property owner sponsorship.
Well, that's no, sorry, that got moved down.
Oh, it got moved down.
Yeah.
Okay. Did we send Melvin, get real soon card from, or did you?
Well, everybody's signed.
Okay, super duper. Thank you.
Okay, so everybody's good with the changes on the resolution, all in favor? That is carried, thank you. Item 7.7 is the report on agenda bylaws. And I have a motion that council accepts the report on agenda bylaws as information. Moved by Councillor Robinson, seconded. Questions, comments? Councillor Buckwald and then Councillor Reddish-Murphy.
I just have one on that, road frontage in front of the Algona area. How exactly that, because that's a provincial highway, so I'm just wondering. How we would basically approve getting rid of that foot, because I'm assuming it doesn't belong to us.
no, actually, I'll show you, and you may not, it's very hard to see, but it's, so this is the old subdivision plan, you can see somewhere on here, it's labeled plan 455. And the little part is right here, and it's along Wilbur Road. And it goes here, so if you zoom in very closely. You see this one, and you see this labeling 1 foot reserve.
Yeah.
It's this, and what that is, it's a legal mechanism that blocks access to a property. So it's not along the highway, it's along the internal road that this
Okay.
part exists.
Okay, because I thought there was also a reserve marked along the highway as well, a 1 foot reserve.
Well, there may be as well.
But this is the one we're referring to, is the one along Wilbur.
Yes, this is the part one, exactly, yeah, over.
Yes, there is one.
Yeah, exactly, I knew I'd seen the one along the highway, I haven't seen the one right there, okay,
Yeah,
just,
it's very hard to, it doesn't jump off the page.
no.
Councillor Aguirre.
Yeah, same question.
Okay,
So these folks are looking to sell this property and I've been in discussions with the shelter about this and we can't find a reason for it. It blocks access, but we can see significant interest to this property. It doesn't seem to be an issue, so we're not gonna hold anybody up.
any other comments? Seeing none, all in favor? That is carried, thank you.
So.
Item 8.1 is the fire department, and the motion is that council accepts this fire department report as information. Moved by Councillor Rector, seconded by Councillor Robinson. Questions or comments? No. Councillor Buckle.
I'll just kind of step into a different role for a second. The auto education scenario was done on the side of the road.
Yes.
That was very educational for everyone that was involved.
Yes, it was well received.
It was well received and well planned. And it had some head scratching. There was a good discussion after.
And those are always the best training exercises is when you get real time experience.
Exactly.
No. Anything else you'd like to highlight, Chief?
No, and so we're moved ahead on the first aid front. And the auto extrication was our big one for this quarter. A lot of work went into it, especially by one of our vendors and Mr. Joey there. Put a pile of work into it. And everybody came out of it with a great deal of experience, especially for the poor shop who I put in charge.
So. Excellent, thank you. Any other comments? All in favor? That's carried, thank you. Item 8.2 is the chief building official report, and I have a motion that council accepts this CBO report as information. Moved by Councillor Buckwell, seconded by Councillor Robinson. Any questions or comments? Seeing none, all in favor, that is carried, thank you. Item 8.3 is the bylaw enforcement, and I have a motion council accepts the bylaw report as information. Moved by Councillor Buckwell, seconded by Councillor Rector. Questions, comments? Councillor Rector.
Any idea how many hours were spent, let's say, for this quarterly report about bylaw? When she was when the bylaw was responding to, like, you know, those concerns related to cats, missing animals, hunting and fishing rules in the township.
I've noted in the report, they weren't significant issues, so I imagine there were phone call type of things, so.
Cause it doesn't seem like there's a lot of bylaw stuff in that, you know, what I'm trying to say. And when I think of a noise bylaw or an animal running at large, like. I don't know if I would call the municipality to find out what the hunting and fishing rules would be, or my cat response.
We do get calls, strange calls outside of our jurisdiction from time to time.
And even for the hunting ones, they may be asked if there's a firearm discharge while along township. That's what the only thing I can think of that would make sense to call the city or the bylaw on.
And I don't see any dog complaints, so all the dogs must be behaving.
Must be quiet.
Went to dog school.
You're frozen.
Any other comments? All in favor? That is carried. Thank you. Item 8.4 is the finance report. I have a motion that council accepts the budget variance report as information. Moved by Councilor Buckwald, seconded by Councilor Robinson. Questions or comments? Seeing none, all in favor? That's carried. Thank you. Item 9.1 are the non-action items. I motion that correspondence items 9.1.1 to 9.1.10 be accepted as information. Moved by Councilor Robinson, seconded by Councilor Buckwald. Comments, questions? Councilor Reddish-Wolfall?
Just under your property, development and property committee and the 90 acres of the former Timco mine site. Do you know like what kind of an industry they think would go in there?
So what they're planning is taking, right now, the province owned by the province, or the crown, I should say. And they would like to look at the feasibility of making a subdivision in there or part of that mine site.
Okay.
So they're looking at that, and then there was also some discussion about, you know, right now the magnesium that they use in the foundry comes from China. But I guess they can produce it cheaper in China and ship it to Canada than what the mine could. They looked at the possibility of reopening the mine, but what they would have to invest to get it operational wouldn't be economically feasible.
Just all those testing things like environmental worker safety and all that stuff.
Yeah. But we did have a number of us toured the Magellan Haley Industries site on Friday, and that was really, really interesting. I had no idea that they were now up to 500 employees. And that one of their challenges is finding workers.
And a place for them to stay.
Yeah. And I asked them what the makeup of their workforce was, and it's about 50% men and 50% women, so that was quite interesting. And their longest serving employee has been there 61 years.
Wow.
He started when he was 17 and he's now 78.
Oh, really? Wow.
Obviously somebody who loves his work.
Obviously.
Hard to replace, I guess.
Yeah, you've gotta love your work and stay in that one. Councilor Robinson,
Well, I just wanted to make a comment on the swim program 2026,
okay,
which I think it's just good to see for activities for children.
right. Any other comments? Seeing none, all in favor? That is carried. Thank you. Item 9.2.1 is the Golden Lake Property Owners Association. I have a motion that council provides the requested $175 corporate sponsorship to the Golden Lake Property Owners Association. Moved by Councilor Buckwald, seconded by Councilor Robinson. Comments or questions? Seeing none, all in favor? That is carried. Thank you. Item 9.2.2 is the Eganville Leaders Sponsored Campaigns. I have a motion to council direct staff to select 12 events to sponsor in 2026 for the Eganville Leaders Sponsored pages, opting for similar choices as previous years in the amount of $600 plus HST from the administration advertising budget. Moved by Councilor Buckwald, seconded by Councilor Reddish-Wolfall. Comments, questions? Councilor Robinson, and then Councilor Reddish-Wolfall.
I was just wondering if we shouldn't reduce the number because it's not even April. And we've lost 3 months already.
Luke,
Oh, no, I was stretching, but I'm gonna pass this one to Laura.
Because normally we start in January and we do 12. So if we're now in April, shouldn't we just make it say 9?
That'd be good. There's multiple events, but
Exactly.
Councillor Ricky jump in.
And if possible, I'm thinking them, like, I like October, like I like the fire prevention, mental health and breast awareness, but they're like all in.
I think the fire department does the.
That one,
Yeah.
but I'm just, maybe when you're choosing, like try and get one from the next, like, the next months, like, you know, one for May, one for June, one for.
Which,
And then if you have to double if you can, but at least every month we have some sponsorship. Maybe.
Right? Change the amount also. Yeah. I'll just put up to 600, but it'll be less with that.
yeah,
And I'll just add on as amended on my board.
Okay.
All in favor? That is carried, thank you. Item 9.2.3 is the military service book. I have a motion that council advertise in the 2027 Royal Canadian Legion Military Service Recognition Book with a color 1/4 page, ad size for $650 plus HST is included through the county public relations budget. Moved by Councillor Robinson, seconded by Councillor Buckland. Questions, comments? All in favor? That's carried, thank you. Third. Item 9.2.4 is the Hastings County. Whereas the Township of North Algona Wilberforce received correspondence from Hastings County, and that the Council of the Township of North Algona Wilberforce support the motion in opposition to the development of the Alto High-Speed Rail project in its current form. And therefore, a copy of this resolution will be forwarded to the Right Honorable Matt Carney, Prime Minister of Canada, the Honorable Steve McKinnon, Minister of Transportation, Martin Imblo, President and CEO of Alto, and Premier Doug Ford, and MPP Bill O'Donnell. Moved by Councillor Buckland, seconded by Councillor Edwards. Comments? I just had one. This came up with the county as well. The county didn't support it because they felt that it's premature, because they're still looking at and negotiating with two different options as far as location of the rail line. It's still in its infancy. So the county didn't want to support it until there was a lot more detail before they made a decision. So I just want to put that out there. If council has the same consideration or if they want to support it, that's certainly up to council. Councilor Bell.
I know. I've looked into it a little bit, but yeah, there's still a lot of stuff up in the air. But the one thing that I think is pretty much determined that there's not going to be a lot of stops in there, if any.
No, that's right.
And I think that's one of the big concerns is the land is going to take up, and both routes basically are going to potentially landlocked properties, type thing. Honestly, I think the money be better spent on upgrading the existing lines and the existing trains.
Well, and that's the thing, there's so many unknowns. I mean, there's talk that the rail line cuts through a farm that maybe they'll provide like a culvert for animals and so on, but can you get a combine through that line? Probably not. So, you know, those are all the concerns that the farmers have along that route. Then the other option is going to be a more southern route, so. Yeah, there's still lots of unknowns.
but also then, like, who's benefiting from this? really, if there's not gonna be a lot of spots, who's gonna be benefiting from it?
Well, the major cities, like Ottawa, Montreal.
Montreal, the big city.
You know,
They may do one in Peterborough, apparently, one of their,
but I think that's.
If they won't mind.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, to me. I can understand, like, Essex County's concern, because. I don't see a great benefit to this. I mean, it's gonna be very. Small group. Like I say, they'd be better off operating what they have as opposed to starting something brand new. My 2 cents.
So I'll call the vote, all in favor. Those opposed. That's defeated, it's the topic. Item 9.2.5 is County of Renfrew. And the motion reads, whereas the Township of North Algona Wilberforce received correspondence from the County of Renfrew, and that the Council of the Township of North Algona Wilberforce endorses the advancement of the Ottawa Valley Trade Corridor Improvement Project. And therefore, a copy of this resolution be forwarded to MPP Billy and the Honorable Steve McKinnon, Minister of Transport, Transport Canada. Moved by Councillor Buckwald, seconded by Councillor Randy Schoenfeld. Comments or questions? All in favor? That's carried, thank you.
I have to get my plug in for my computer.
Item 9.2.6 is
Guys, I was trying.
No, actually, I just finally because this afternoon I forgot to plug it in. And so.
We need to get one of those portable pumps like that.
And then.
Well, my probably rituals and all that, I'm down to $62.
I find my computer, I was at 100, staying down at 86, mind you, I was down a bit, but the
No,
battery seems to have really cheap.
So I'll read the motion, whereas the Township of North Algona Wilberforce received correspondence from the Renfrew County School Board, and whereas the locally elected school board trustees provide essential community representation, and whereas rural communities rely on trustees to reflect local priorities, ensure accountability, and advocate for students. And whereas we share the government's stated goal of student success and believe that achievement is best fostered through local democratically elected leadership. Therefore, be it resolved that council affirms support for maintaining elected trustees, and further that the mayor clerk send a joint letter to MPP Bill and all to forward to the Minister of Education. Moved by Councillor Robinson, seconded by Councillor Buckwald. Comments, questions? Just wanted to say that I guess initially, because of what happened in Toronto and Ottawa, this is one of the reasons why they've brought this change, the province, to limit the size of the trustee boards, limit their amount of pay that they receive, and really limit their ability to make any significant changes. But they didn't make the same, as far as I know, now, that's something that may require more research, but I don't know if they made the same changes to the French boards and the Catholic boards on their trustee makeups.
Apparently not the French boards, and I was wondering about like the English speaking Catholic board, if they're grouped down at the public board, that I didn't find out, but all French boards are remained the same as they were now. My problem is that they're gonna make it, wash it down so much, nobody's gonna want to run for a trustee. And I truly think, like our students here, are different than the students in Toronto or Ottawa or offshore or anywhere else. So they won't have a voice. And I think I really think it's a cost saving measure by the government. The government's gonna think they're gonna save a whole bunch of money because the trustees aren't gonna go to some workshop, they're not gonna go down to Toronto. But I mean, to me, it's about students, right? It's not about the bottom line. And so when I heard that, I was very, very disappointed because I thought if I wanted to be a trustee, would I really want to do a job where I'm not gonna get paid very much? And I'm going to be limited in my impact of what I can do? Like, why would I want to do this?
I was very disappointed when I heard that because the trustees are the voice of the community. And you know, they advocate on behalf of the students and the parents and issues that are going on in that area. And who's going to be doing that? You know, superintendent who's overloaded. So
I do like the idea of having a CAO yearly, and they'd be in charge, they'd more be the finance person, I think that's important. And underneath them would be something like a director of education, and that would be because I guess they thought, you know, I don't wanna cut this program to save money, well, you can't cut this program to save money, right? I kind of like maybe that structure, but to limit like the way the trustees are gonna work, I definitely didn't like that.
it's watering it down to nothing.
Exactly, and then you're not, and then it could turn into the dictatorship, right?
Well,
Like, who's gonna be the voice of some other program, like many minds make a better decision than one.
it's the democracy that's been taken away.
That's right.
That's where you look at it.
And again, the other unfortunate piece is that at least our local boards, Renfrew County and maybe even some of the other northern communities have been very responsible with their budgets and not coming back with deficits year after year. But now all of a sudden, we get painted with the same brush as those larger boards that are not being fiscally responsible.
Well, I'm probably well guaranteed, the people making the decisions down in Toronto doesn't know where the Renfrew County Board is even located. They probably don't even know the maker of the schools that are in the board. Like Renfrew County is a very unique position, because when I was at the athletic, so when I sat on the athletic board, there was like the French public school, the French Catholic school, the English school, and then the Catholic school, like a very unique dynamics, right? It's not like that, idea.
No,
And I guess they didn't have the courage to make the change and just fund one school across the problem.
Yeah, that's true. If you want to save money, that's what they should do.
Yeah, exactly.
This isn't like rocket science. They build up with the hospitals, do it with the schools.
Yeah.
Really. I could say Civil County because of that.
Any other comments? All in favor? And that's carried, thank you. And 9.2.7 is in regards to provincial day of action on litter. I have a motion that council direct staff to promote the 7th annual provincial day of litter on May the 12th, 2026 by posting the resources provided by the Ministry of Environment, Conservation and Parks. Moved by Councillor Schoenfeld, seconded by Councillor Buckwalt. Questions, comments? Seeing none, all in favor, that is carried, thank you. Item 9.2.8 is from the Township of Brunel, Lindop and Raglan. Motion reads, whereas the Township of North Algona Wilberforce received correspondence from the Township of Brunel, Lindop and Raglan, and that the Council of the Township of North Algona Wilberforce supports the resolution from the Eastern Ontario Warden's Caucus regarding Homer's governance changes in Bill 68. And therefore, a copy of this resolution will be forwarded to VP Billy Deneau, to be forwarded to the Minister of Housing and Municipal Affairs and the Minister of Finance. Moved by Councillor Buckwald, seconded by Councillor Schoenfeld. Questions, comments? Seeing none, all in favor? That's carried, thank you. Item 9.2.9 is from the Association of Ontario Road Supervisors. The motion reads, whereas the Township of North Algona Wilberforce received correspondence from the Association of Ontario Road Supervisors, and that the Council of the Township of North Algona Wilberforce support the motion requesting that the province of Ontario introduce legislation and enforcement measures for the protection of municipal public workers and contractors. And therefore, a copy of this resolution will be forwarded to MPP Billy Deneau, to be forwarded to the Honorable David Peninsula, Minister of Labor, Immigration, Training and Skills Development, the Honorable Rob Flack, Minister of Municipal Affairs and Housing, and the Honorable Doug Ford, Premier of Ontario. Moved by Councillor Blackwell, seconded by Councillor Van Pichon. Questions, comments? I just had one on today's, I just received it in my email from AORs, that they are now looking for any feedback on incidents that the individual municipalities staff may have experienced in regards to some of the challenges that public works staff face with residents who are kind of unruly and behave terribly. And they would like that information to come back to them, because I guess they're putting together a comprehensive provincial snapshot and review of what's happening.
I can think of one.
I can think of one, but not that one.
Well, there certainly have been some of the instances they talk about is, people actually standing in front of a plow truck and then giving the driver the gears for either not doing the job properly or not responding quick enough or not doing something. I know there was an incident with the city of Pembroke where they had somebody threw a coffee cup full of coffee against the windshield of the plow was. Just bizarre behavior.
Doesn't take much.
No, I would have to say it seems to be more whether it's like a politician, somebody giving them the ears about something, or like, the people in the office here, I'm sure. Or the people on the boards, like it's unfortunate, right, because if they have an issue, if that's not who you address the issue.
Exactly.
So,
Yeah. I guess the other thing that's been happening is in some places where the employees get challenged or accosted in public places like the grocery store, the hardware store. It's not
Especially in small communities.
Yeah.
Can't get away from it.
well, and I think it's a Facebook culture, right? Where if I don't like Doug, I can comment on Facebook. What's he gonna do? Come and get me? Right? But when I see him in public, I totally forget. I can just, it's just, people have lost their sense of authority,
Providing responsibility.
for sure.
Any other comments? All in favor? And that's carried, thank you. And one is a bylaw 2026-15 to execute a contract with Greenwood Paving. Now therefore, the Council of North Algona Wilberforce enact the following bylaw 2026-15 being bylaw to authorize the execution of a contract between the Corporation of North Algona Wilberforce Township and Greenwood Paving. Moved by Councillor Robinson, seconded by Councillor Buckles. Questions? All in favor? That's carried, thank you. Bylaw 2026-16 for the use of corporate resources for campaign purposes. Now therefore, the Council of North Algona Wilberforce enact the following bylaw 2026-16 being a bylaw to establish a use of corporate resource policy for campaign purposes for the Corporation of North Algona Wilberforce Township. Moved by Councillor Robinson, seconded by Councillor Buckles. Questions, comments? All in favor? That's carried, thank you. Bylaw 2026-17 to establish circumstances to conduct a recount in a municipal election or by-election. Now therefore, the Council of North Algona Wilberforce enact the following bylaw. Bylaw 2026-17 being a bylaw to establish the circumstances in which the clerk shall conduct an automatic recount in a municipal election or by-election for the Corporation of North Algona Wilberforce Township. Moved by Councillor Buckwald, seconded by Councillor Schulfeld. Questions? All in favor? That is carried. Thank you. Bylaw 2026-18 dedication of land of the public highway, part 1, plan 455. Now therefore, the Council of North Algona Wilberforce enact the following bylaw. Bylaw 2026-18 being a bylaw for the dedication of land as a public highway. Mover to seconder, moved by Councillor Buckwald, seconded by Councillor Robinson. Questions? All in favor? That is carried. Thank you. Are there any matters of urgency? Any notice of motion? And go to reports from the committees. And I have a motion that council accepts the April Recreation Committee Chair report as information. Moved by Councillor Robinson, seconded by Councillor Buckwald. Questions, comments?
Maybe I could just comment on some highlights. So the Easter egg hunt, even though the weather wasn't the greatest, we still had maybe between 150 to 200 kids and parents. So that was really good. Everybody still seemed to have a nice time, but it was kind of wet at the end. The Opeongo Bullet event that Christine organized was a success. There was 28 people out there, so lots of smiles. The ATV run that was scheduled a week earlier and is now on June the 20th. So those were the main points. Just as a little aside, the Recreation Committee may try and do something for Canada Day. So normally the Lake Erie property people do the pancake breakfast, and usually Cameron and who always did something for Canada Day. So we're going to try and see them in a meeting that we might be able to do.
Thank you. And just to follow up on that, at the Woods board meeting on Thursday last week, they wanted to extend thanks to our recreation committee and the excellent partnership that we've developed with them as far as putting on the Easter egg hunt. And they really appreciate the amount of exposure it gives their facility by bringing out a lot of families and kids. So I said I would pass that along. All in favor? That's carried. Thank you. Upcoming meetings and unfinished business. Our next regular meeting of council will be on May the 19th, 2026 at 7 p.m. We have no closed session tonight. So our next item is the confirmatory bylaw. That bylaw 2026-19 being a bylaw to confirm the proceedings of council for April 21st, 2026. Be read a first and second time this 21st day of April 2026. Moved by Councillor Schoenfeld, seconded by Councillor Robinson. Read a third time and finally passed this 21st day of April 2026. All in favor? That's carried. Thank you. You're early again. Motion that this April 21st, 2026 regular council meeting adjourns at 8:54 p.m. Moved by Councillor Robinson, seconded by Councillor Schoenfeld, all in favor. And that's carried. We are adjourned. Thank you.